Hello， 观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看本期的对话好莱坞，我是主持人蓝天。今天蓝天跟大家推荐一部最近非常火的美国动作电影《Mile 22》22英里。影片讲述的是马克·沃尔伯格饰演的 CIA 探员，在一次行动当中杀死了6名俄罗斯间谍，包括1名18岁的小孩。之后来到美国，发现有人运输做脏弹的原料，同时伊科乌艾斯去美国使馆交出原料的具体地点的硬盘的时候交换条件却是送他去美国。从使馆到运输机场22英里，但是一路上却是危机四伏。其实这个伊科是个3面间谍了，为了给这个6名之前俄罗斯的间谍报仇借助印尼的警察黑帮，将守望小组全部杀掉。其实近年来，靠着这个动作卖作片《变形金刚》等片奠定动作一哥地位的马克·沃尔伯格，这一次在片中有大量的动作戏份，也是为戏情练肌肉，更是为了片中的角色减重近14公斤。拥有金石健美的完美体态，他表示说：“我拍过非常多不同类型的电影但是我仍然觉得没有找到哪一个角色可以真正代表我诠释我的，但是我觉得就是这部片了，可以让大家真正的认识到我。也希望之后大家想到马克·沃尔伯格最先想到的就是《全力逃脱》Mile 22。今天我们请到了影片的几位主创以及马克·沃尔伯格来跟我们分享一下这部影片背后的故事，一起来了解一下。
According to the government, we do not exist, but we're very real. We're unpredictable, highly trained.And we save millions of lives. If we fail, there is no backup plan. We are Overwatch, and we get things done.
So what was your motivation for making Mile 22, and why do you keep working with Mark?
After doing 3 films in a row that were all based on reality, nonfiction movies with Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and Patriots Day, I really just wanted to have some fun and just make an action movie, and that was kind of the spirit that this all started with. 4 people have to get 22 miles in 38 minutes. Very simple, and we're going to throw a lot of obstacles at them in between where they start and where they hope to end up. Mark and I just had a very good connection, like from day one, and people have asked me, well, why do you guys keep working together? I'm like, well, why wouldn't we? We really get along tremendously well. My family gets along really well with his family. My friends get along with his friends. We just have a really good time. And I kind of, as I get older, I love this job. I feel blessed and fortunate and all that to be able to do it, but it's a job, and life is short, and I like to be with people that make me happy and make me laugh and make me think and don't cause me a lot of stress and aggravation. And so, that's all part of why Mark and I keep working together.
My government is planning an attack on the United States.
Can I trust you?
Put me on a plane and I give you everything.
What is the character that Mark plays?
The character that Mark plays, Silva's got this almost, brutal, bipolar, very, very intense, myopic personality, where if he locks onto something and he gets an opinion or, gets upset by something, he almost loses his ability to control, particularly his mouth. But sometimes his physical actions, you really don't want to come under the wrath of this character. So Iko plays Lee Noor, who's a local special forces police officer who is not happy with his government and comes to the U.S. Embassy with some information that's very valuable to them, but he doesn't trust the Americans any more than he trusts some of the police that he works with. So he'll only really turn it over if they put him on a plane and get him out of the country. So the movie is the ground branch team trying to get Iko out of the country. And people were talking about this young, the next Bruce Lee that was popping up out of Indonesia, Iko Uwais. And I went and saw the film, Red One, and I was just mesmerized by him and by the soul and the texture and the emotion and the physical brutality all kind of You know, it's unusual. It's just like he just had it. There's something there. You know, you can see 100 guys fight, but one of them kind of touches your soul, and Iko definitely had that quality. And that's what started. It was kind of in the back of my mind. I was like, I want to work with that guy. I don't know how or what or when or where, but Iko's special.
Deliver that package to here, mile 22.
Let's take a drive.
Are you ready?
Look out, bikes, Dougie. Feeling calm, Alice?
Not even a little. Are you?
I'm totally calm.
That's because you're mentally unstable.
Thank you.
What type of movie plots are we most drawn to now, and what are we getting ourselves into for this movie?
The movies that I tend to be drawn to now, and the kinds of things are less tech and more, you know, real. And so the fights and the stunts and the action is, you know, generally I approach it from what's the best, how can we make this as real as possible and limit the amount of giant green and blue screens that we have to have on set. One of the things I'm very happy about with Mile 22 is that we are what we say we are. This is a, you know, very intense 95 minutes of no fucking around, ruthless business. So, you know, you come, if you want 95 minutes of real intense business, we've got that for you.
What?
He's been accurate on everything else, John, 100%, and he appears driven and motivated by something other than funding.
Fix this.
Oh, it's going to be fixed.
Every one of these events occurred as a result of a failure of imagination. Your job is not to predict tomorrow based on yesterday. That's what academics do. Your job is to prevent the end of tomorrow by using your brains and your imagination. If you don't find the cesium before it's too late, you will be held responsible for the single largest intelligence fumble since a flight instruction school in Florida failed to grasp the significance of a 19-year-old Al-Qaeda terrorist saying he didn't need to learn how to land.
So tell us, Mark, what happens in the movie Mile 22?
There is quite possibly an uprising and a terrorist threat, and basically they greenlight this Overwatch operation, and his job is to take a person from one part of the country, get him to the airport, and get him out of the country safely so he can give us some valuable information that would prevent a terrorist attack. It's one of those things where in order to do the right thing, I have this valuable information, and I think, you know, that there is definitely the possibility of this threat. So if somebody is going to offer us real intelligence, then we have to take that seriously, and we have to do what we can to protect them and get the information from him. And it really is a cat and mouse game. So it's interesting to see how that unfolds. And is this a guy that I can trust or not trust? And, you know, Silva doesn't really trust anybody.
On your left! Dougie, come right!
Get right.
Where's the signal?
Child one, mother.
Status. Other child one. Looks like the threats are breaking contact.
Check the tape. What did we miss?
Rewinding footage. Bishop. This motorcycle's placed something on the side of the vehicle.
And tell us a little bit about your character. What kind of person is he?
Jimmy just takes a lot more pleasure, and it is obviously a lot more vocal, but takes a lot more pleasure in the fact that once it's a go, once it's green lit, he's the end all be all. And I think he likes playing God to a certain extent, and that's obviously a very dangerous thing. You know, power obviously can be addictive and can be a bad thing, but I think people will love this character because they also understand that when you're in these situations, the same rules that might normally apply don't. And you know, it's all about survival, and it's all about, you know, the big picture, whatever we have to do to protect our homeland and our country and our people, and even innocent people in that country and other countries. So, you know, the rules change when you're dealing with bad people. I just felt like we've seen the kind of brooding anti-hero man of few words. Let's hear a guy who's very opinionated, likes to get into the conversation, and he's the kind of guy when his team gets greenlit, he decides who lives, who dies, and what happens in between. And very cool, interesting character. Doesn't care about right or wrong. Who started it? He's just going to do his job, and that's it.
So what is it like working with Pete, a legend, and how did he come up with the story?
Pete and I, we had done 3 other films all based on true stories surrounding tragic events. We wanted to be able to basically do something that we could have some fun, but our idea of fun is creating a world that is full of violence, betrayal, deceit, and all of these things that I think make for great stories. So basically we wanted to make a really smart character-driven action movie. Pete's always known for his action, but the real story is the setup, and there's great twists and turns in this movie. And it was something that appealed to both of us.
So what is the perception of Colombia, and how is it shooting there?
It's fresh and new. Not a lot of people have shot there. I mean, I remember, they get a bad rap, what the perception is and what Colombia is 2 totally different things. It's great, really warm people. The cities are thriving. They have extremely talented people there, both in front of and behind the camera. They were more than accommodating. There's some twists and turns that I think are going to really make this special and unique, and hopefully there will be a demand for another film because they'll want to see Jimmy hopefully get his revenge. At the end of the day, we are really just trying to entertain people. We want people to sit down, strap in, and go on this ride. And with all the twists and the turns and the action, I think people are going to really love it.
Kalau harga diri yang paling rendah itu adalah jujur sih, pengkhianat.
What would you say is the core promise of the film?
The core premise of the film, which was really an idea that Pete had, is what happens if someone comes into an embassy or a CIA station with a piece of information and offers it in exchange for being taken out of the country under very perilous circumstances. That was the original idea. Pete and I talked a lot about, and I was really interested in this idea of what is the risk that you take when you need to know something. So hopefully the movie also gets a little bit into that. How do people change when they're under the pressure to get this kind of intelligence, which is what these people do every day.
That's my asset.
Who is he?
Lee Noor.
I don't want to know his name. I don't know what he does for a living. I want to know, who is he?
A loner. No kids, no family, 100% accurate and reliable.
You mark him or he mark you?
I marked him.
He says he has the exact locations of all 6 sets of cesium. He's logged it on a disk. He says only if we get him out of the country and give him asylum will he open the disk.
You gonna deal with this? Or you want me to handle it?
I got it.
This is serious, right?
Oh, very.
What is OSS, and how is working with Pete?
It was famously said about guys who went into OSS, which was the organization that came before CIA, that that Bill Donovan wanted men who had PhDs but could handle themselves in a bar fight. Pete has an incredible ability to look for the humanity, always go for the humanity, which is something that I think you might not immediately think of when you think of an action film director, but he's always looking for the human moment, always looking for the core of the scene, always saying, people will know how to blow up the trucks, but you need to know what's happening emotionally in this scene.
好的，那我们在节目的最后呢，一起去看一看马克·沃尔伯格拳拳到肉的打斗花絮。
Shit. Good. You alright? You okay? You okay? Yeah.
Dave, that's a cut. So if you go slow, right, you hit your head here. Now you turn and you see this, and so as this head's coming back, you're making this move here. And
He's a loner. No kids, no family. He's been 100% reliable.
Will you mark him or he mark you?
I got it.
Says he has the exact locations of all success to season.
A small cluster bomb, that's about it.
Fine. Child one, mother, we're gonna rain some smoke. Child one, mother, yes, just draw them in a little closer.
好的，以上就是今天对话好莱坞的全部内容了，感谢大家的收看，我们下一期同一时间再见了，拜拜。
We're in contact, major contact.
Get out of there. You gonna keep coming to me until you kill us all? Is that the game today? That's a weird game, but okay, I'll play.
Whole squad rhyme with them killers. It's time to see who be realer. A lawyer can get the clip on them, make sure these people feel it. I'm shooting like Reggie Miller. The mover, I'm a
Kaboom.
You can bring what you got, I'm going to the top.
Mile 20.